Shavua Tov. I can hardly believe that this is the fourth of the half a dozen weekly videos I shall have made for you at Kehillah, North London, before my time as your locum rabbi is finished and Rabbi Leah Jordan joins you. My first video was an introduction, and in the last 2 weeks I've reflected upon liberal Judaism and Zionism, marking Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israeli Independence Day, and then on patriotism, commemorating the 75th anniversary of Victory in Europe, VE Day, the defeat of the Nazi regime and the end of war with Germany. Since there is a very minor Jewish holiday this coming Tuesday, celebrated mainly in northern Israel, I shall share a few details about it. That festival is called Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer. And Omer is a sheaf of barley, which according to Leviticus chapter 23 verses 15 to 21 was to be brought to the temple in Jerusalem from the second day of Pesach to Shavuot, understood metaphorically by rabbinic tradition to mark that journey from servitude in Egypt, from slavery in Egypt, until the acceptance of the implication of its opposite, namely freedom and responsibility under law, the Ten Commandments, the Torah, which it is alleged were revealed at Mount Sinai on the first Shavuot. For reasons that are indeed deeply obscure, may have connections with pagan custom and that of Christian Lent, the Omer period is one of semi-mourning. But even today, many traditional rabbinic authorities discourage celebratory events, including weddings, during this period. That it was a period of mourning seems to have been unknown even to the great medieval Jewish scholar, Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, better known as Maimonides, although he certainly would have been familiar with this Talmudic passage from Yevamot 62b, which I'm going to share with you now. It is said that Rabbi Akiva had 12,000 pairs of disciples. All of them died at the same time because they did not treat each other with respect. The world remained desolate of Torah until Rabbi Akiva came to our rabbis in the south and taught them Torah. These were Rabbis Meir, Yehuda, Yossi, Shimon, and Elazar ben Shemua, and it was they who revived the Torah at that time. An anonymous Tanna taught, all of them, those are the students of Akiva, died between Passover and Shavuot. Rabbi Chama ben Abba, or some say Rabbi Chia ben Avin, said, all of them died a cruel death. What was it? Rabbi Nachman replied, croup. Whilst this passage clearly refers to a tragedy during the Omer period, it contains no reference to mourning and obviously not to Lag BaOmer either. Indeed, some scholars suggest that the reference to croup or a plague is in fact a piece of self-censorship by the redactors of the story of the Talmud, who did not want to remind readers too overtly that the deaths of these rabbis occurred after the unsuccessful Jewish revolt against Roman rule in 132 to 135 CE, and the following subsequent persecutions on the instructions of Emperor Hadrian, the same Roman emperor, of course, who built the famous wall between England and Scotland. Be that as it may, long periods of abstention are difficult to maintain, as the existence of the pagan origins of May Day may attest. Following the story of the plague which afflicted the students of Rabbi Akiva, it was alleged that on Lag BaOmer, the 33rd of the Omer of that year, the plague lifted, either for a day or altogether. Hence a celebration, a Jewish celebration. Celebration in Israel usually the celebrations for Lag BaOmer, this celebration or celebration in Israel, usually take place outside, involving the lighting of bonfires and children using bows and arrows. A further custom arose of gathering at the designated tomb of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai in Meron in northern Israel. Shimon bar Yochai was a prominent student of Akiva and a strong advocate of resisting Roman rule, such that with a price on his head, the story says that he was forced to hide in a cave for a dozen or so years. All of this may in fact be nonsense, but it might have provided a welcome day's distraction from the 7 weeks of semi-mourning during the Omer period. Perhaps these tales of the rabbis of the Roman period may provide a moment of levity for us as we enter week 8 of lockdown in the United Kingdom in the face of a very real and serious plague, COVID-19, the coronavirus. Shavua Tov, have a good week.